I've not done this before, but I'm having a go at making some animal glue to glue up my bellows. Half is bone glue, well half, one bag is bone glue in little granules, and the other is a finer crystal powder, and that's nerve glue. And the recipe that I've been recommended for gluing leather to wood is to use 1/3 nerve and 2/3 of the granules. So the bellows are ready, and I understand that you mix your 2/3 bone and your 1/3 nerve a couple of hours before, if not the day before. I did the day before. You put them, mix together the dry ingredients and cover them with a little centimetre of water. Very soon that rapidly kind of jellifies. I left the jelly overnight as requested in the instructions I've seen, and then you will see here on my stove, camping stove, my supper waiting for me: avocado and tomato salad with some boiled potatoes, and here's the glue, and it's in a bain-marie of the water. I've got a horseshoe in the bottom to stop the glue touching the bottom of the pan, and that water's not boiling, but it's hot. It's on a little diffuser and the flame's very low there. And so in just a few minutes there, the glue has begun to, this sort of solid gelatinous mass has begun to liquefy. Looks to me like I may have made it a bit thick, but I'm going to try this in a minute. I'm going to eat those avocados and the potatoes first, and then I'm going to try out the glue. So I will let you know how it's worked. Well, I finished my experiment with the animal glue, and I've cut some leather strips and glued up my bellows, and I'm satisfied with the result so far. Here you can see, well, I'm filming a bit in the dark, the reservoir box, top and base, one of the double pairs of bellows, and the other here, and the glue's worked well on the leather. So there's an outside leather strip that closes off the bellow board, a bit like bookbinder's leather. There is the inside strip glued on top of the cardboard spacers, and the animal glue seems to have dried not too hard, and it keeps its flexibility, giving a nice hinged movement, which I find on the second board, and again on the reservoir box with its spill valve ready to work. So now all that remains to be done is for me to put leather on the sides of the bellows, but of course before I do that I need to put the leather valves in place, because once I've glued the leather around the edge of the bellows, I'll no longer have access to the interior, except for the one advantage of using this glue that I've been using, animal glue, is that if I do need to open the bellows to maintain them, I just need to run a hot iron over the leather, and I can peel the leather off, run a hot iron over it again, and that glues the leather back on. So that's one of the advantages of doing things the old-fashioned way. So the next clip will show the bellows and reservoir all pieced together with the leather pumps around the exterior. Thank you for watching. So here is the base bellow board with its valve attached, and I'm now going to glue the side leathers on the bellows. So you see the valve from underneath, the valve from inside, and I hope the valve is well made, because once the side leather is attached, it's a bit complicated to get to the valve. For maintenance, it means removing the side leathers, dismantling the bellows, so a big job. So this is how I'm going about gluing the bellows leathers that I've been meaning to do for some time. In the background on the cooker, I've borrowed my wife's kitchen for this, so I'm being as tidy as I can. In the background on the stove you can see my pot of animal glue, which is softening up. I made it a few days ago when I glued the bellows hinges, and that's since solidified. I let it cool down, it's been in the fridge. So I'm now heating it in the bain-marie to liquefy it, and then I've prepared my bellows leathers with the card stiffeners and the bellows, and here you can see I've put the bellows leather inside the bellows with the stiffeners in place, flush with the edge of the bellows, everything looking tidy and in good position. And what I've clipped them together with clamps, and once the glue's ready I'm going to paint it on bit by bit and squash down the leather, and then hopefully tomorrow it will be working. There you can see the inner the valve is in place inside there. Well, I'm done with gluing bellows, back in the workshop and out the kitchen, and I'm done, but I ran into a problem, and so I'm very glad that I used the animal glue that, as I mentioned, was reversible. So one of the bellows is there working, little valve at the bottom with the air intake and a nice breeze of air coming out. In fact, what I'd done is I glued the leather down the side of the bellow much too tightly at the back without really noticing. This bit of leather gets flatter as it gets towards the back end, and I just winded it out, glued it round the back, and I found that it was so tight at the back that I couldn't actually open the bellows, so I was able to run my hot iron over the back, over the side, peel off the back of the leather, put on a new coat of glue, squidge it in with the end of a little teaspoon, and then glue that down. So that gives me the bellow with its leather surround, and the same thing for the reservoir box, which is now glued with its leather and its air outtake on the side, which I think I'm probably going to move to the top of the reservoir box. So that's it, and all that remains to be done now is bellows testing and final assembly. Thanks for watching.